Okay, this is round one of the Experian draft against Mr. Spider Inc. He's got a Brood Horror, 0 Soulbinded cards, and my turn one's gonna be. I could play Spirit Steel Infiltrator. I think I want to play Spirit Steel Infiltrator and the Guardian, the Alolan General, in the lane right here, so I can pump. The Brood Horror is gonna go to a 4/4 or a 3/3 next turn, probably. I can't stop that. But I can make a good offense with my Spirit Steel Infiltrator. I can even move it towards the Brood Horror to block with a 4/6 if I need to. It will lose the mobility once it moves, though, since it'll have less than 4 attack then. I could also just block it with the Matrix Warden when he plays 2 creatures. Kind of just depends on what his 2 creatures are. Alolan General is really good at rank 2. It's a 4/13 and gives everything plus 4 attack. So it's a plus 12 attack creature because it's 4 attack itself, and then plus 4 to each lane is 8. And then it's really tough to take down. So he's got pretty all in on making this Brute Horror worth it. I can actually kill his creature with Matrix Warden and Ursine Strength. I don't know if it's worth it though. Because if I Matrix Warden my guy, my Spirit Steel Sentry actually lives. I'm going to block the Brute Horror with Matrix Warden so he can't get 2 pumps next turn. And even though I don't get to play creature, I still get to keep my Spirit Steel Infiltrator because it gains armor and toughness. So it's still a 7/2. Or 9/2, rather. One of the good things about Overwhelming Forces is that it's pretty good at rank 1, even like at all stages of the game, since it's plus 3 attack. It does scale pretty well with plus 6 and then double at rank 3, but it's not something you really want to level. Whereas the Earth Strength I just played at least is +7/+7 at rank 2, which is it's like almost another creature. Call of the Week, so my guy goes down to 7/2, and he leveled Call of the Week, so that can kill my guy in the next rank. Wow, he's playing a lot of spells. What I can do here is play my Grove Matriarch to block his guy, kill it, then replace the Seedling with my Steel Eye Researcher, and level up probably Forge Guardian Alpha, because it's an 8/14 at rank 2, which is very large. And Venom Fang is pretty good at rank 1, just because it gives poison 1 to anything with 5 power. So he has only Brood Horror and that one creature he played. He has two level 2 creatures in his deck. To my 4, I believe, right? Because I have the General, the Spirit Steel Infiltrator, the Warden, the Researcher, and the Matriarch. So I have 3 more level 2 creatures than him. He has a level 2 Hungering Strike, a Dejin Siphon, which is an incredible card. 2 Brood Horrors. He's playing the most fragile creatures. Okay, so that's pretty threatening, actually. This 8/8 Swamp Moss Ancient. I can block it with Leyline Sentry. That actually might be what I do. Because the cards I have in my hand aren't that great. I don't really want to play Deep Branch Prowler here because, I mean, I can't be aggressive enough with his removal spells, his Necrium nonsense. Especially when I don't have any pump spells to pump it, so I think it's probably better just to play the Crucible Colossus. I rank up this turn, which means my Crucible Colossus can go on attack. So I'm going to put it in the side lane here and not bother blocking the Brood Horror. I can, if my Leyline Sentry lives, I can replace it with my Steel Eye Searcher to rank up something. I'm probably going to use Ursine Strength on my Leyline Sentry died. So I still think I play Steel Eye Researcher in front of the Brood Horror to kill it, and I can play Grove Matriarch in front of the Moss to kill that. But is it better to kill his 8/3? Yeah, it's probably better to kill his 8/3 because with Ursine Strength, my Crucible Colossus will go down to 2 health. I believe he already played Dejin Siphon this turn, right? The rank 2 one? Yeah. So I don't know any other removal spells he has except for Call of the Week. I'm not too concerned about that. So play Steel Eye Researcher here, and Grove Matriarch here. My Crystal Colossus dies, but his thing goes down to 7 toughness. It's actually quite a bit. But we'll try to deal with that with, I guess, Leyline Sentry. Because, no, Leyline Sentry doesn't even live. I guess the Gorf Matriarch then. This card doesn't level up. So he's actually, all I have to do is survive his first few turns, because his creatures really suck. He's got a level 3 Brute Horror, and a level 3... That's it, actually. And a level 3 Degen Siphon. Now he has a Swamp Moss Ancient. That's what he's relying on for his late game. That's not going to be anywhere near enough. I could +2/+2 this thing, but it won't be enough to save it. So I'll just play Leyline Sentry. He doesn't... I don't think he has anything that puts creatures into play. But it's having a, what is it, 9/17 is still better than having a, like, 8/14, I think. And it's better than leveling this spell when my creature doesn't even live. And I'm going to put it in the side lane here, so if I draw the Aloyan General, I can put it in the center lane, or even this offline right here. Either offline, I guess. Yeah, so I think I'm going to play my cards in the side lanes and figure out what he plays. I know he has another level 2 Brute Horror in his deck. And a level 1 Dirge Banshee. Oh, I forgot about the Cavern Hydra. Yeah, I wasn't too worried about that card. When he pumps it, though, that's actually pretty worrisome. Not too bad, because what I can do is simply just play the Crucible Colossus in front of it. Wow, that Leyline Sentry is such a champion. That way it'll just kill his Cavern Hydra. He has to play another spell to save his creature. Which, I mean, signs point towards he'll just do that, but even if I just live and play nothing and he just keeps playing spells, eventually I'll win because my cards are gigantic. Despite him having, like, a ton of very defensive spells. Now I have to block this with a 6-power creature. So I can block this here, kill his guy, then play a Forge Guardian Alpha to block his Brute Horror. And the Forge Guardian lives because it's so big. I didn't draw the General that rank, which kind of sucks. It's not a huge deal. This has to have 10 attack in order to do things. I think this has to have 20. Yeah. So I drew 2 level 3 cards at the beginning of rank 3. That bodes pretty well for me. I'm assuming my Forge Guardian dies here, because, yeah. Well, if it wasn't going to be that, it was going to be some sort of pump spell. A level 1 Brute Horror. So I'll just block his creatures, because I need to play sort of defensively. He can't... If I just play level 3 creatures, he can't possibly trade with me, so... Playing defensively here is going to be my key to victory. Drawing the Ursine Strength for either of these Steeleye, yeah, that's the stuff right there. This is what, +9/+9? So now I can make my level 2 or 3, depending on what's biggest at the time. I can make it gigantic. And I can play one of these big walls in front of whatever he plays. I think that's a better plan than pumping my... Like, assuming he blocks my Researcher here. That's a better plan than pumping my Researcher for sure. I think he played those in the wrong order. I mean, I could save my Steeleye Researcher, but I'd rather have a gigantic... I haven't seen any cards that let him just straight up kill a creature, like Blightwalker. He hasn't leveled any of that. He has a Degen Siphon, which is my 7/7 at rank 3. Which is probably enough to turn the tide on this Infiltrator, but not yet. So we're going to make trades here, attack him for 23, and block his Brute Horror, probably with this Matriarch, actually. Actually, I don't need to play for rank 4, I don't think, so... Yeah, I'll just block with the Forge Guardian Alpha. That way, if I draw a Jetpack or something, I can Jetpack my guy. That's a pretty awkward hand. All level 1 cards. I can make a bunch of 4/3s and a 6/6 with my Spirit Stone Steel Watch combo. think that's like my only viable play here. Is he gonna chump block this infiltrator? Yeah. So I'm gonna move my infiltrator to kill his ancient before he can pump it. And then I lose out on a Spirit Stone Druid this time because my Forge Guardian Alpha is still in the way. But this is still fine because I get a 6/6 Spirit Watch, or Steel Watch card. My Spirit Steel Infiltrator still has 9 health. Another all one hand. This is how my opponent catches up. I have a jetpack still, so I don't want to get rid of my Forge Guardian. Not quite yet. Going to rank 4 is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to kill him in rank 3. Because he had to play creatures this hand or he would die, so this was my peak rank, I think. I can still win the game, but if he has good creatures and good spells, it's going to be much harder for me to win, whereas I only really have good creatures. I have the Ursine Strengths, which are good, good, but if he plays a creature before he combats, this Spirit still actually lives. So I hope he messes up. Come on. I don't think he's going for it. Oh, he is going for it. Now he has to pump his Brood Horror. Okay. So, I'm going to Ursine Strength my Spirit token and Strengthen Numbers my Steel Watch card, because I don't want to play any of these level 1 creatures. And this pushes a little bit of damage and saves my Steel Watch card. And levels up the 2 good spells, which are really good in rank 3. Yeah, see, there's the level 2 Ursine Strength, which is +9/+9. I just leveled that one up because the other one's level 3, which is +13/13, I think. Something crazy like that, yeah. +13/13. Dealing damage to Brood Horror is really good because that limits the amount of creatures it can pump. Fortunately, I don't have any good attackers. I can play a Matrix Warden in front of this Crypt Conjurer to pump my alpha, then play Crucible Colossus in the side lane. Just because there's no point in blocking Brood Horror. I mean, I can block it. Crucible Colossus can't attack for a while, so I might as well block with it. That way he can't just get in free damage. Yeah, that makes sense. Now I can jet back my Forge Guardian. He should have been leveling that up when he was playing all his spells in rank 1 and 2. Whenever he plays the Neck Room spell, it drains me. It's a pretty good card. I wonder what his creature type is. It's a vampire. So he Hungering Strikes my Matrix Warden to save his Crypt Conjurer and kill my Crucible Colossus. Which is pretty good. Pretty good use of cards. Unfortunately, this doesn't really do a whole lot. Yeah, he's playing an 8/16 to get through. I'm gonna make a 14/14. Actually, do I care? Yeah, I'd rather have a 14/14. No. I'll just block with the Grove Matriarch, because even though I'm not ranking up my Steel Watch card, I don't foresee playing a level 3 Steel Watch card in the next rank. I think I'm just going to kill him with this Forge Guardian Alpha. It's 28 damage a turn, he has to block it next turn. Plus whatever else I play. And it's really difficult to kill since it has 16 toughness. And he has to pretty much play level 3. Okay, he just died. Yeah. That's the reason why you can't just play your spells in the early ranks. Your creatures are really bad if you do that. And he just fell behind because he didn't have the creatures necessary to catch up to my creatures.